The stadium was trembling. Not from pyrotechnics, not from speakers, but from the sound of thousands of voices screaming, crying, gasping as Kendrick Lamar stepped onto the stage in Argentina. It wasn't just a concert, it was a cultural earthquake. Fans didn't just watch. They broke down in tears. They clutched their chests. They collapsed into each other's arms. And by the end of the night, people weren't asking if Kendrick had delivered a great performance. They were asking if they had just witnessed the most powerful moment of his entire career. But what happened that night? Why did people cry? Why did entire rows of fans hold each other and weep? Why are clips from Argentina being called not just emotional, but historic? Because according to those who were there, something supernatural happened. Something Kendrick himself may not even be able to repeat. The night began like any other stop on his tour. Thousands packed into the stadium. The hum of anticipation shaking the air, the glow of phones lighting up the darkness. But when the lights finally cut, when Kendrick's voice first pierced the silence, the entire crowd felt it at once. This wasn't just a show. This was a testimony, as one fan tweeted in real time. "I don't know how to explain this, but I'm crying. Everyone around me is crying. Kendrick is pulling something out of us we didn't know we had." That tweet alone got over 300,000 likes in 24 hours. Clips of the performance went viral almost instantly. In one, Kendrick drops to his knees during "Sing About Me." "I'm dying of thirst," and you can hear the stadium sobbing behind him like a choir. In another, fans are chanting every word of "All Right," tears streaming down their faces. Their voices cracking but refusing to stop. Journalists who covered the event described it as a mass catharsis. One Rolling Stone writer said, "I've been to hundreds of concerts. I've never seen an entire audience cry at once." It was like a collective release of grief and hope, led by Kendrick as some kind of prophet. And maybe that's what made this moment so different. Kendrick Lamar wasn't performing songs. He was leading something that felt closer to a spiritual service. Even celebrities reacted. Bad Bunny, who was in Argentina at the time, posted an Instagram story saying, "Kendrick just baptized this crowd. I've never seen energy like this." Billie Eilish commented on a viral TikTok, "This isn't a concert. This is healing." And yet, the most shocking part wasn't the tears. It wasn't the chanting. It wasn't even the fact that fans swore they felt changed when they left. The most shocking part was what Kendrick himself said on stage, words that instantly ignited rumors, debates, and questions about whether he had just hinted at the future of his career. Because right, after finishing a heart-stopping version of Mother I Sober, Kendrick stood silent for nearly 2 minutes, staring at the crowd. And then he said softly into the mic, "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this." The stadium went silent. Fans screamed "no." Some fell to their knees. And from that second on, the speculation began. Was Kendrick hinting at retirement? Was this a farewell tour disguised as a victory lap? Or was he simply saying that Argentina had pulled something from him so deep, so personal, that he couldn't promise it would ever happen again? That single sentence turned the night into legend. It turned tears into panic. It turned a concert into what some fans are calling the most powerful Kendrick moment in history. And yet, what happened next pushed the night beyond history into mythology, because someone in the crowd claims they recorded what Kendrick said off mic. Words the world wasn't supposed to hear. And if that recording is real, it changes everything. Kendrick Lamar has never been just a rapper. He has never been just a performer. From the moment he first hit the scene, critics, fans, and even his rivals admitted one thing: he's a storyteller, a prophet, a voice that doesn't just rap bars, but holds up a mirror to the human soul. And Argentina became the stage where all of that came crashing together in the most explosive, emotional way possible to understand why fans cried that night. Why the stadium shook with something deeper than sound. You have to go back. You have to trace Kendrick's path through performances that always carried weight, but never reached this level of mass catharsis. Think back to 2016, when Kendrick performed All Right during protests, his voice echoing over chants for justice. People cried then. They felt power. But that was political. That was anger turning into hope. Then think about 2018, when he headlined Coachella. Fireworks, dancers, the crown of rap placed firmly on his head. That was triumph. That was history. But it was spectacle. Now think about 2022 Glastonbury. Kendrick stood drenched in fake blood, performing Savior with a crown of thorns, chanting Godspeed for women's rights. That was art turned into protest, and the crowd wept. But still, it wasn't what Argentina became, because Argentina wasn't about politics. It wasn't about triumph. It wasn't even about artist protest. Argentina was about something raw, primal, and deeply human, as one fan put it after the show. This wasn't a concert. This was therapy. He broke us open and put us back together. So why Argentina? Why this night? Why did thousands cry when they'd seen him before, screamed his lyrics before, lived through his genius before? Some say it was the setlist. He dug deep, performing tracks he rarely touches, live songs like Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, and Mother I Sober, songs drenched in trauma, redemption, grief, and release. Hearing those words in a stadium filled with strangers, thousands of voices trembling together, turned music into something closer to confession. Others say it was his energy. Multiple fans swear he looked different that night. Tired, intense, eyes locked not just on the crowd, but on the sky, as if he was channeling something bigger than himself. It was like he wasn't even performing for us. One woman told a local reporter, "It was like he was performing for God, and we were just allowed to witness it." Insiders whisper there's another reason. Argentina has a history of turning concerts into revolutions. From Queen's legendary 1981 show in Buenos Aires to the mass soccer chants that shake stadiums like earthquakes. Argentina's crowds are known for giving artists energy they can't find anywhere else. And when that energy collided with Kendrick's most vulnerable music, the result was an emotional eruption no one could have predicted. The media didn't hold back either. Rolling Stone called it a mass exorcism disguised as a concert. Pitchfork labeled it the night Kendrick Lamar transformed into a prophet. Even CNN ran with the headline, "Kendrick Lamar makes Argentina cry." But the most powerful reactions weren't from journalists. They were from the fans themselves. Clips surfaced of people sobbing uncontrollably during Sing About Me. Entire sections of the stadium could be seen holding each other, swaying like a choir, tears streaming down their faces. One viral video showed a young man with his head in his hands, crying into his friend's shoulder as he screamed the lyrics word for word. The caption read, "I didn't know music could do this to me." Another video showed a mother and daughter crying together, hugging as Kendrick's voice echoed over the speakers. The daughter later tweeted, "I came to this concert with my mom. We both cried the same tears. Kendrick gave us something we'll never forget." And yet, it wasn't just fans. Even members of Kendrick's own crew admitted they'd never seen anything like it. An anonymous stagehand told Variety, "I've worked dozens of shows with him. I've never seen him like that. It was like he left part of himself on that stage." But the most chilling moment came when Kendrick paused, stared at the audience, and whispered, "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this." Those words set the internet on fire. Entire Reddit threads exploded with speculation. Was Kendrick hinting at retirement? Was he saying goodbye? Or was he warning that he could never repeat what just happened in Argentina? Some fans swore it was just heat-of-the-moment emotion. Others argued it was a coded message, a sign that Kendrick was closing this chapter of his career. A popular fan account on Twitter posted, "Mark my words, this was Kendrick's farewell. Argentina got his soul. We won't see this again. His soul. We won't see this again." But then, a new layer of drama was added. Someone claimed to have recorded Kendrick speaking off mic, words the audience wasn't meant to hear. In the recording, you can faintly hear his voice saying, "I don't know how many more times I can do this." The leak spread like wildfire. Fans panicked. Journalists scrambled. Was Kendrick burning out? Was he signaling the end? Or was this all part of something even bigger, a new era, a new message, a transformation that would change his career forever? And that's where Argentina stopped being just a concert and became a mystery. Because what fans experienced that night was real. The tears were real. The breakdowns were real. The energy was real. But the meaning behind Kendrick's words, that remains unclear. Was it a goodbye? A warning? A prophecy? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing is certain. Argentina wasn't just a stop on the tour. It was a turning point, and if you think the crying was intense, wait until you hear the shocking twist that surfaced the very next morning you need. Twist that made fans question whether they had just witnessed Kendrick Lamar's most powerful moment, or the beginning of his exit. The energy in that stadium didn't just rise, it broke. By the time Kendrick reached the midpoint of his Argentina set, the crowd wasn't singing along anymore. They were screaming, sobbing, collapsing into one another as though every lyric cut straight into their bones. It wasn't entertainment anymore. It was a collective breakdown. The exact moment it shifted is already being dissected online. Some fans say it happened during Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. Kendrick performed it stripped down. No fireworks, no dancers, no distractions. Just him, a single spotlight, and 60,000 people holding their breath. He dropped to his knees mid-song, head bowed, his voice cracking with raw emotion. And that's when it happened. Waves of crying across the stadium, entire sections breaking down in unison. As if the lyrics unlocked something buried inside them. One fan described it on Instagram. "I looked around me and realized everyone was crying. Not just tearing up crying. I hugged a stranger next to me and we both sobbed like we'd lost someone. Kendrick was pulling it out of us. It felt..." Wholly another diary-style post, allegedly from a fan who attended, leaked online the next morning. In it, she wrote, "I came to scream, to dance, to feel alive. I didn't expect to confess my pain to strangers. When Kendrick sang Promise That You Will Sing About Me, I lost it. I don't know if I'll ever experience something like that again." But the tears weren't just emotional, they were contagious. Videos show fans crying, then looking around, realizing everyone else was crying too, and breaking down harder. The stadium turned into a river of grief and release. It was more than catharsis, it was collective healing. Journalists are calling it a mass purge. One local Argentine paper even ran the headline, "Kendrick Lamar turned Buenos Aires into a church." And yet, Kendrick wasn't done. After finishing the song, he stayed on his knees, silent for nearly 2 full minutes. The cameras zoomed in. Sweat dripped down his face. His eyes scanned the crowd like he was carrying the weight of all their tears. And then he said it, the words that sent shockwaves far beyond Argentina. "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this." The crowd screamed nitrogen monoxide. In unison, some even fell to the ground, clutching their heads. And the internet. It detonated instantly. Within minutes, hashtags like #KendrickFarewell, #Argentina changed him, and #KDOT last show trended worldwide. Clips of his statement went viral, racking up millions of views in hours. One TikTok edit, with the caption "Kendrick Lamar just hinted at retiring," was shared over 5 million times. Fans panicked. Threads exploded on Reddit. Did we just witness his last real show? Some argued he was exhausted, drained from pouring so much into his music. Others said it was a calculated hint away of saying this performance marked the end of an era. But then came the first twist. An anonymous account, claiming to work backstage, posted a series of leaked notes, supposedly belonging to Kendrick's tour manager. The note suggested that Argentina had been circled on the calendar for months as a special night, marked with the words, "Possible announcement." The leak implied that Kendrick hadn't spoken off the cuff, that his chilling words about the last time were planned, that he had gone into Argentina knowing it might be the night he revealed something life-changing. And to make it worse, another alleged leak surfaced: an audio clip recorded by a fan who swore they caught Kendrick speaking off mic after Mother I Sober. In the faint audio, his voice is heard saying, "I don't know how many more of these I got left in me." The clip spread like wildfire. Fans argued endlessly about its authenticity. Some swore it was real. Others said it was doctored. But the panic it sparked was undeniable. People weren't just crying about the show anymore. They were crying about what it might mean. Was Kendrick Lamar about to walk away? Even celebrities chimed in. Drake posted a cryptic emoji candle on his Instagram story, fueling speculation. J. Cole tweeted simply, "If Argentina was the last one, he left as the GOAT." But others didn't take it as final. Pharrell commented on a fan video, "Sometimes artists give everything and feel empty after. Doesn't mean it's over. Just means it was real." Still, the narrative had already shifted. Argentina wasn't just Kendrick's most emotional show, was possibly his farewell. And then came another bombshell. Rolling Stone published an article citing an anonymous insider who claimed Kendrick had been telling close friends for months that he was running on fumes. According to the source, he feels like he's said what he needed to say. He told people this tour might be his last in this form. The story ripped through the internet. Was Argentina the climax of Kendrick's career? Was it his way of saying goodbye without officially announcing it? Fans begged for answers, flooding his social media with comments. "Please don't retire. Don't leave us like this. You're not just music. You're medicine." But Kendrick stayed silent. And that silence became louder than anything he could have said. Because in the void, theories spread. Some believed he was done. Some believed he was evolving into something even bigger. But one theory in particular began gaining traction: the idea that Argentina wasn't just an emotional show. It was a carefully orchestrated moment to prepare fans for the truth. The truth that Kendrick Lamar may have just given us his final masterpiece. The morning after Argentina, the world woke up different. Overnight, Kendrick Lamar's name wasn't just trending, it was dominating every corner of the internet. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, news outlets. Everyone was talking about the same thing. What did Kendrick mean when he said, "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this"? Clips of the performance were replayed like sacred scripture. Videos of fans sobbing uncontrollably went viral, layered with captions like "We witnessed history last night." One fan account on Twitter posted, "I've seen Beyoncé, I've seen Gaga, I've seen legends. Nothing compares to what Kendrick just did in Argentina." That single post racked up nearly 500,000 likes in less than 24 hours. But the internet didn't stop at reverence. It turned into chaos. Reddit exploded with threads dissecting every second of the concert. Fans slowed down footage, analyzing Kendrick's facial expressions. Some claimed he looked like he was holding back tears himself. Others swore they saw him whisper thank you to his band in a way that looked like a goodbye. A top post on Kendrick Lamar read, This wasn't a concert. It was a funeral for an era. And then came the leaks. A supposed tour document appeared on line screenshots that allegedly showed Kendrick's Argentina setlist marked with the words, "Historic night, special ending." Skeptics called it fake, but it spread too fast. People believed it. Fans argued it proved Argentina wasn't spontaneous, it was premeditated, adding fuel to the fire. Another anonymous source told Billboard that Kendrick had been considering ending large-scale touring altogether. The source claimed he's been exhausted for a while. He feels drained from giving everything on stage. Argentina wasn't random, it was him reaching a breaking point. The speculation went nuclear. Was Argentina his farewell? Was it his announcement in disguise? Celebrities poured in with their takes. Essa tweeted, "That wasn't a show. That was Kendrick showing us his soul." Travis Scott posted on Instagram, "Bro turned a stadium into a church. Argentina, different." Even Adele weighed in during a London show the next night, telling her audience, "I saw those videos of Kendrick in Argentina. That's not just performance, that's devotion. I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like that." But then came a voice nobody expected. Dr. Dre, the man who discovered Kendrick, posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "Some performances change the game. Some end the game. Proud, either way." The comment section lost its mind. Did Dre just hint that Kendrick was done? That Argentina was the final curtain call. That Argentina was the final curtain call. And just when fans thought they had processed enough, the second shocking twist detonated. A leaked "What's up" conversation, allegedly between members of Kendrick's team, surfaced online. In the screenshots, one person typed, "Argentina was too heavy. He's not doing another like that. Not sure the fans are ready for what's next." Another replied, "We agreed he would save the announcement for LA, but he couldn't hold it back." Fans went into meltdown. Was there an announcement planned? Was Argentina supposed to be a preview of something bigger? Was Kendrick planning to end his career at the Los Angeles show, the symbolic homecoming of his tour? Theories exploded. Some said he was retiring entirely. Others insisted he was shifting from music into activism or spirituality. A few wild rumors even suggested he was starting his own movement, something beyond albums and concerts. Something cultural and global. One viral TikTok laid it out like a conspiracy board, with red strings connecting clips, leaks, and past interviews. The caption read, "Kendrick isn't retiring, he's transforming." Argentina was the first sign, but not everyone was convinced. Critics argued that Kendrick knew exactly what he was doing, feeding into speculation, to build hype for whatever project he had next. Rolling Stone published a scathing op-ed. "Kendrick Lamar just manipulated millions into thinking he's retiring. Argentina wasn't farewell. It was marketing." That article alone triggered another internet war. Fans accused the media of disrespecting Kendrick's authenticity. Defenders wrote threads about his history of vulnerability, arguing that what happened in Argentina couldn't be faked. You can't choreograph thousands of people crying at once. One fan tweeted, "Meanwhile, ticket sales for the rest of the tour spiked overnight." People who hadn't planned on attending suddenly scrambled to buy seats, terrified they'd miss the final show. Prices soared on resale markets, some tickets going for nearly 10 times their face value. And then came the final blow of the escalation. A fan uploaded an uncut video of Kendrick walking off stage in Argentina. In the clip, he looks drained, almost broken, as security helps guide him backstage. And just before disappearing behind the curtain, he turns back to the crowd, presses his hand to his heart, and whispers, "Thank you." That clip alone turned Argentina into legend. Fans swore it was the last time he would ever leave a stage like that. But here's the question. Was Argentina Kendrick Lamar's farewell? Was it just the beginning of something bigger? Because, according to yet another insider leak, Kendrick's team is sitting on a vault of unreleased material. Dozens of songs, journals of lyrics, entire performances recorded but never shared. The whisper is that Argentina wasn't a goodbye. It was the trigger for what comes next, Kendrick Lamar's transformation into something no one is ready for. And if those whispers are true, then Argentina wasn't the end. It was the warning shot. By the third day after Argentina, it was impossible to escape the conversation. Whether you were scrolling Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, or even LinkedIn, everyone had an opinion about Kendrick Lamar's Argentina performance. It had stopped being just a concert and had become a generational debate. Was this Kendrick Lamar's greatest moment? His final one? The internet was split into two violent camps. On one side were the farewell believers. These fans were convinced Argentina was Kendrick's goodbye. They pointed to his chilling words, "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this," and to the leaked off-mic audio. Entire Twitter threads mapped out timelines of Kendrick's career, framing Argentina as the climax. One viral post read, "Good Kid introduced us. TPAB educated us. Damn, gave us rage. Mr. Morale gave us truth. Argentina gave us closure." That tweet alone was shared over 400,000 times. On the other side were the evolutionists. These fans refused to believe Kendrick was done. They saw Argentina not as the end, but as the transition. They argued he was shifting into something bigger than rap a prophet, an activist, maybe even a cultural leader on a global stage. TikTok filled with videos of people saying, "He's not retiring. He's leveling up." The clash between these camps wasn't civil, it was war. People attacked each other online, accusing farewell believers of killing Kendrick's spirit with negativity and evolutionists of being delusional stans who can't accept reality. The hashtag war escalated. Hashtag K.farewell versus hashtag KDOT evolve, but it wasn't just fans fighting. The industry itself got dragged in. Journalists took sides. The New York Times published an editorial titled, "If Argentina Was Goodbye, Kendrick Left at the Top." Pitchfork ran the opposite take. Argentina wasn't the end, was the signal of a new era. The Guardian called it the night rap became religion. Record labels and promoters panicked quietly behind the scenes. Leaks from Live Nation suggested executives were terrified of a farewell narrative tanking future sales or exploding them. One leaked email read, "If people believe he's retiring, ticket prices will skyrocket. But future revenue will collapse if he walks away." Meanwhile, other artists couldn't resist joining the debate. Tyler, the creator, tweeted, "If Argentina was the last show, I respect it. He gave y'all his soul. But if it wasn't, imagine thinking he peaking now Lamo. He's just getting started." Doja Cat posted an Instagram story. Kendrick had grown men crying in Argentina. Imagine the power. That's not retirement energy. That's profit energy. Even Kanye West weighed in with a bizarre statement. Kendrick made Argentina cry. "I made the world cry." There's levels. His comment only fueled more chaos. Fans began comparing Argentina to other legendary performances. Michael Jackson in Bucharest, Beyoncé's Homecoming, Bob Marley in Zimbabwe. Threads argued Kendrick had joined the pantheon of artists whose concerts weren't just shows, but historical moments. One fan wrote, "Decades from now, people will say, 'Where were you when Kendrick made Argentina cry?'" But the most shocking reactions weren't from fans or celebrities. They were from unexpected places. Politicians in Argentina referenced the concert in speeches, calling it a reminder of unity and catharsis. Mental health advocates used the viral crying clips as proof that music can provide collective healing. Even pastors in Buenos Aires preached about the show, comparing it to a revival, And then came the strangest twist of all: corporations tried to hijack the moment. A sports drink brand tweeted, "Stay hydrated when Kendrick makes you cry." Hashtag Argentino show. A clothing brand dropped a limited t-shirt with the words 31 seconds of silence, referencing the moment Kendrick paused mid-performance. The merch sold out in under 2 hours, but amid all the chaos, one post stood out above the rest. A fan uploaded a shaky video from the crowd, claiming to have caught Kendrick whispering off mic during the final bow. In the clip, you hear faintly, "Y'all will understand later." That single sentence reignited the firestorm. Evolutionists screamed it was proof he was planning something bigger. Farewell believers argued it was his final reassurance. The internet collapsed into debate all over again. Meanwhile, industry insiders fanned the flames. A well-known journalist tweeted, hearing whispers from Kendrick's camp that Argentina was not the end. Something is coming, bigger than music. No further details, just that one cryptic post. And now the world was split. Holding its breath, Argentina was no longer just a concert, it was a prophecy. But was it a prophecy of the end or the beginning? The answer might come sooner than anyone expected, because whispers began circulating that Kendrick's team was preparing to release footage from Argentina, just highlights, but the entire uncut show. And insiders claimed that in the uncut footage, Kendrick said something no one had heard yet. Something that could change everything. Something that could change everything. The whispers became unbearable. By the end of the week, the rumor had spread everywhere. Kendrick's team was sitting on uncut footage of the Argentina show. And in that footage, he said something the world hadn't yet heard. Fans went into detective mode. Reddit threads lit up with theories. TikTok users slowed down clips, convinced they could leap-read hidden words. One viral video claimed Kendrick mouthed, "This is it." Another insisted, he whispered, "Not done yet." The contradictions only fueled the frenzy. Then, late one night, it happened. A grainy 8-minute video surfaced on a fan forum, uploaded anonymously. The uploader's message was simple: they don't want you to see this. The video began like countless others, Kendrick on his knees during Sing About Me. The crowd sobbing, the stadium trembling. But then, the camera didn't cut away when he paused. It lingered. It zoomed. It captured something the official broadcasts had edited out. Kendrick stood slowly, gripping the mic with both hands. His voice was hoarse, trembling. And he said, "This might be the last time I give myself to y'all like this. But it won't be the last time, you feel me?" The crowd gasped. The video caught people clutching their faces, screaming, crying harder than before. And then came the part that froze the internet. Kendrick lowered his mic. He turned away as if speaking only to his band. But the camera, shaky and zoomed in, caught it. His lips moved clearly enough for everyone watching online to read them. 3 simple words: "It begins now." The clip ended abruptly, but that was enough. The internet melted down. What begins now? Was it a retirement? A farewell? A new project? A movement? Theories spun out of control. Some fans swore he was hinting at a final album. Others believed he was starting something larger than music, can artistic revolution. Maybe even a political or spiritual one. Celebrities reacted instantly. J. Cole posted, "It begins now." I heard it too. Rihanna commented on a fan video, "This man moving different." Even Barack Obama. Yes, Barack Obama mentioned Kendrick during a podcast, saying, "When artists like him speak, even in whispers, the world listens." Theories escalated into hysteria. Hashtags exploded. Hashtag "It begins now." Hashtag KDOT prophecy. Hashtag Argentina uncut. Conspiracy boards on Twitter suggested Kendrick had intentionally leaked the footage himself to send a coded message. Some even argued he was forming a collective, something global, something that could merge music, activism, and spirituality. But others were terrified. A Rolling Stone oft warned, if this was his farewell, Argentina will go down as one of the greatest goodbyes in music history. Billboard countered, if this was the start of something. Fans are not ready for what comes next. Meanwhile, the man himself, Kendrick, stayed silent. No posts, no tweets, no interviews, nothing. Just silence, heavier than any lyric, and that silence became unbearable. Fans begged for clarity, flooding his socials with comments. Please don't leave us. What begins now? Say something, K. But Kendrick gave nothing, and maybe that's why Argentina feels so haunting. Because it wasn't just a concert. It wasn't just a performance. It was a mystery carved into history, a riddle set to music, a prophecy whispered into the night. Was Argentina the end of Kendrick Lamar? Or was it the rebirth of something greater than anyone can imagine? The only thing we know for sure is this: Argentina changed everything. It changed the fans. It changed the industry. And maybe, just maybe, it changed Kendrick himself. And if this was only the beginning, the world has no idea what's coming next. So now the question isn't just about what happened in Argentina. The question is what it means. Was this Kendrick Lamar's farewell? Was this his final gift to the fans before walking away forever? Or was this the beginning of something bigger than music itself? Because those three whispered words, "it begins now," have become more than a moment. They've become a mystery. They've become a movement. And the truth is, nobody knows what he meant. Did he mean a new album? A revolution? A farewell tour? Or something so much larger that we can't even comprehend it yet? And that's where you come in. I need to hear what you think. Do you believe Kendrick is retiring after Argentina, leaving the game at the absolute peak of his power? Or do you believe he's about to unleash a new era, one that will change not just hip-hop, but the culture forever? Drop your theories in the comments right now, because this isn't just a debate's history unfolding in real time. Every perspective matters, and I want to know where you stand. Are you #farewell believers, or are you #EVOLUTIONISTS? And let's be clear, this story is not over. Already, insiders are whispering about unreleased Argentina footage, hidden journals, and vaults of songs Kendrick has never performed. And if even a fraction of those rumors are true, then the crying in Argentina was just the first sign of something massive looming on the horizon. So here's what you need to do. Hit that like button if you felt the chills from Argentina just watching the clips. Smash subscribe if you want to be the first to know when the next bombshell drops. And turn on notifications, because trust me, when the truth about Argentina finally comes out, you are not going to want to miss it. And remember, in Kendrick's own words, it begins now. But what exactly began that night in Argentina? That's the question. And until we have the answer, the world will be holding its breath.